Delaware's Office of Animal Welfare kicked off 2016 with new statewide animal control duties, partnering with a new shelter to house the animals. The changes also mark a new beginning for the first state animal center in SPCA in Kent County, which had provided animal control in the state for about a decade. We hash out what this all means for Delawareans in this week's First Look. Athena is lucky to be alive. She's still pretty skinny and scraped up, but the pup's on the mend.
It was this tree.
Thanks to Good Samaritan Liz Baldwin.
I didn't know she was frozen. It was so cold.
Liz Baldwin was running in Rockford Park on a cold January day when she found Athena left by this tree.
I wasn't even sure if it was alive. Literally left on the side of the park road. It was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
After doing some digging, Baldwin's friend called the state's Office of Animal Welfare to help.
If someone calls us with a concern about animal cruelty or animal control, we send an officer out to enforce the law, to educate the public, or provide resources. We also pick up animals sometimes that are stray or lost, or we rescue animals that have been neglected or abused.
Little history here. State lawmakers established the Office of Animal Welfare in 2013 to consolidate pet programs and services under a statewide umbrella. Now the state manages things like a low-cost spay and neuter program, education, and most recently, animal control. Hetti Brown's in charge and says she has about $4 million taxpayer dollars to work with.
I do think that just by consolidating services and taking advantage of economy to scale, we can look for cost savings. We can also look to bring in new revenue, like through dog licensing.
Westchester-based Brandywine Valley SPCA, formerly Chester County SPCA, is the state's new shelter partner. So state animal control officers will bring the animals to Brandywine Valley's new Delaware shelter in Newcastle, where they'll get lots of TLC.
We are taking in animals from the Office of Animal Welfare, the animals that have no homes and owners. And if the owner is not reclaiming the animal, we would attempt to place it out for adoption.
Brandywine Valley outbid Delaware SPCA, winning the 3-year, $6 million contract.
There was about a $3 million difference between the 3-year contract bid between the Delaware SPCA and the Brandywine Valley SPCA. So cost did play into the decision.
I think it's kind of sad that our Office of Animal Welfare did not lobby the shelters in Delaware to each take a piece of the pie. Now we have a fifth nonprofit coming into our state asking for funds to help the animals.
Kevin Usilton is the executive director of First State Animal Center and SPCA in Kent County. For a long time, his shelter handled animal control and sheltering statewide. And for a long time, he pushed for a state takeover.
Each contract was set up with the county, so they were individually set up. If it went to the state, it would be one contract, which would be easier to maintain.
Yet Usilton didn't even bid on the state's sheltering contract when the time came.
We were somewhat surprised that they didn't bid, but of course it's an open bid process and each organization has to decide if providing those services are right for that organization.
It's no secret that Usilton's relationship with Brown and her supporters is tumultuous. Usilton believes his organization is always made out to be the bad guy because it's the only no-kill shelter in the state.
They were demoralizing our organization to members of the community and to elected officials. And so we just decided that it's best to leave them alone.
And so after 10 years, First State is getting out of the dog nabbing business and into doggy daycare and boarding for cats and dogs.
We're still offering sheltering to unwanted animals, but those unwanted animals come to us by owners instead of picking them up as strays on the street.
Meanwhile, Usilton says he helped Brandywine Valley get its bearings here in Delaware, where Athena is recuperating. And in spite of their differences, all parties agree the welfare of Delaware's animals is what matters most. If you have concerns about strays or dangerous dogs, animal cruelty concerns, or think you may have been exposed to rabies, call the Office of Animal Welfare's 24-hour hotline at 302-255-4646. The office also launched a statewide lost and found pet registry online, complete with pictures, that can be found at animalservices.delaware.gov.
So just curious, do owners have to go all the way to Newcastle County to pick up their dogs?
No, and Brandywine Valley SPCA's main shelter in Newcastle, that is the main shelter for adoptions and rehabilitation, but BVSPCA does have satellite sites in Kent and Sussex counties, so animals will remain in the counties where they're picked up.
Tell me how Athena is doing.
Athena's doing well. She's not quite there health-wise to be put up for adoption, but you can visit her this weekend. Brandywine Valley SPCA's grand opening on South Street is this weekend.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Shirley. This story can be found at newsworks.org/Delaware, your online home for daily Delaware news.